these next two sections, we're actually going to kind of have to remember a lot of information, well, not a lot, but quite a bit of information that we learned back in Chapter 10 when we were working with circles, because these next two sections do kind of focus solely on circles and like other portions of circles as well. So with the first one, we have our circumference around a circle theorem, and I did kind of include a picture there for you. So just as a refresher, because I know you have done this in the past, your circumference is the total distance around the circle, and it has a specific unit. So it might be yards, feet, inches, something along those lines. It just has a unit. And there are actually two formulas that we can use to find our circumference. The first one is 2 pi r, and your r stands for the radius. So if you know your radius length, you probably would want to use that formula. And the other one is pi times diameter, and that's the one that you would want to use if you knew your diameter length. So with those two formulas, if you just kind of knew one or you preferred one over the other, say you liked pi times diameter better, and you only knew the radius length, you could double your radius and then you would have your diameter, and you could use that formula. And you can do the same thing if you were looking for your radius, so you just kind of, you have a little bit of leeway there if you prefer one formula over the other. But we're going to kind of work with both of them so you can see examples of how each work. Before we get to the examples, I do want to give you your code word, and your code word for this screencast is cupcake. Once again, your code word is cupcake. So in the first one, we're looking for the circumference of a circle. We know that the radius is a length of 9 centimeters, so we're going to use the 2 times pi times radius. And we're going to plug 9 in there for that one. And then all you're going to do from there is simplify. One thing that I do want to point out to you is that everybody, if you have a scientific calculator at home, I'm not sure if you're using your phone as a calculator. I'm not sure if the button's on there. But I would suggest you using the pi button on your calculator rather than using like 3.14, just because it gives you a more accurate answer when you use that pi symbol. So if you have a scientific calculator or anything like graphing calculator, anything like that, use the pi button if you have it. On some cell phones, I think that you have the pi symbols. On some, I'm not sure if you do. So just check your calculator that you're using for the pi symbol before just plugging everything in. And then you just get 56.55, and then our unit is centimeters for that one. So you just kind of plug everything into the calculator exactly as you see it. And the next one, we're looking for the circumference. We know that the diameter is 12, so it is pi times your diameter, which is 12. You get about 37.7 feet. So that's kind of an example of using each formula. You can also use these two formulas to find the radius and the diameter length. So we're going to start with the radius. So if we're looking for the radius and we know that the circumference is 26, it's going to be 26 is equal to 2 pi times r. And then what you would want to do is divide both sides by 2 to get 13 equals pi times r. Divide both sides by pi. You get that your radius is 4.14 meters. And we're going to do one more if we're looking for the diameter. We know our circumference is 45, so it's 45 is equal to pi times your diameter length. Divide both sides by pi. Your diameter is 14.32. Can't erase that one piece there. I apologize. 14.32. So those are just kind of the type of simple problems that you'll see right off the bat. What we have to talk about next is something called an arc length, and that's a portion of the circumference. So if you remember in the last chapter we talked about arc measures, arc length is different because an arc measure has to be in degrees, and an arc length works with a specific unit, so yards, feet, etc. But what we can use is we have to use that measure So the measure in degrees of the arc to help find the arc length. And we're going to kind of go through a couple of these. But we have our arc length corollary, and this is the picture that we're going to kind of compare our corollary to. Your corollary is just essentially a formula. More specifically, it's going to be a proportion. So you're going to have two separate ratios. Your one ratio is going to be solely using the unit of measurement, so it has to use all of your degree symbols. The other ratio is going to use your specific unit, so like yards, feet, etc., whatever you're using. And it's always going to be a portion over the whole. So what I kind of mean by that is that we're going to take the ratio on the left of the equal sign, and I'm going to just make that my measurements. So I have the measurement of arc AB. And anytime you have a measurement, it's always measured in degrees. And the total amount of degrees that's around the circle is 360. And that's kind of some stuff that we have done in the last chapter as well. So that's just kind of what you have to remember. I'm going to kind of make this one a little bit larger. So that's your portion of the whole. It's the portion of arc AB over the entire circle. The other proportion is going to focus solely with a specific length, so a unit that you may have. And it's, once again, the portion over the whole, so your portion is going to be the arc length of arc AB, and that one doesn't have any special notation. How measure had the M in front of it, you have to write out the word arc length. There's no notation for it. And that uses a specific unit, and you're looking for a distance. So the entire distance around the circle is your circumference. So this is a very important proportion to know because you can use it to find the arc length, you can use it to find the arc measure, you can also use it to find the circumference. You're going to see an example of each, but we're going to do 3 examples of arc length, one of a measure, and one of a circumference, because you'll see it asks for arc length much more frequently than it'll ask for the other 2. And then the 360 that's down there, that stays 360, that just is never going to change. So we'll start with the first one here. So we're looking for the measurement of, or the arc length of AB. First, we do need to find the measurement though. And if you remember, we're looking for the measure of arc AB, and we have that central angle is 60 degrees. So the arc is going to be the same exact measure as that interior angle. So right there, it's 60 over 360. And those are your 2 degrees. So you have the 60 from your arc measure, and then 360 is the total circle. And then you're looking for the arc length, so it's going to be is equal to x over the circumference. And since we only know the radius and not the diameter, we're going to have to use 2 pi times your radius. Now normally what you would do to solve for something like this is that you would actually cross multiply, which we're still going to do. I'm just going to show you a simpler way to do it because a lot of errors kind of happen when you're doing calculations. The first thing that I would do is start by finding the circumference of the circle. And when you put that in your calculator, you should get 50.26548. Decimal kind of goes on and on. Without rounding your answer, just hit the multiplication button and multiply that answer by 60. And if you're using a scientific calculator or a graphing calculator, it should show up on your calculator as ANS times 60. So what it's actually doing is taking your answer with all those decimals and multiplying it by 60. It's going to give you a much more accurate answer that way. So you always multiply diagonally, which is why I multiplied the circumference by 60. And you should get 315.928947. And then you're going to divide that answer by 360. So if you just hit divide and then 360 on the calculator, it should say ANS divided by 60. You will get your answer for X, which is 8.38 when you round. And that one's a centimeter unit. So I'm going to kind of go through the other 2 a little bit quicker. That's the same concept though that you're going to use. So in this one, our arc measure is 60, and that's over 360. And we're looking for our arc length again, and this time to get the circumference, it's 2 times pi times 11 because you have your radius. So you should start off the exact same way. Start by finding your circumference, multiplying that by 60, and then taking that answer and dividing it by 360. You should get 11.52. And these are definitely calculations that I would kind of calculate as I'm giving you the answer, because if you get the wrong answer, you can always email me to ask me how I got that answer. And that way, before your quiz or your test, you actually know how to use the calculator rather than just winging it and ended up getting everything wrong. So we're going to do one more, and this time our arc measure is 120. It's over 360. Once again, we're looking for that arc length. We know our radius again. So start by finding your circumference. Multiply that by 120. Then you're going to divide that by 360. And you should get 23.04 if you round. Once again, that's going to be centimeters. So that's kind of how you find your arc length. You will have to know that proportion. You will use it over and over again. So just make sure that you know how the proportion works as well, which is why I kind of spent like a couple minute or two explaining how the proportion works. I did tell you that you can also use that same proportion to find the circumference or an arc measure. So in the first one, we're going to look for your circumference. So if you take a look at that circle, you don't know the radius length or the diameter length, so you can't use either of the two formulas that we did earlier in this section. So we actually have to use that proportion. We know that our arc measure is 40, and that's going to be over 360. And that's equal to your arc length, which is right there. It's labeled as 4.19 inches. And we are looking for our circumference. So this one's a little bit easier because you don't have to worry about it. It's just they're all whole numbers, so you don't have like a formula like the circumference formula inside of there, which is what we've had in the past. So it's a little bit kind of easier to calculate. Should get 37.71. Oh, that's inches, not centimeters. For that one. And in the second one, we're actually looking for the measure of arc RS. So then this one's going to be x over 360. That's going to be equal to your arc length. And usually why the the arc measurement usually goes inside where the angle is because your arc length is usually labeled on the outside. So that's kind of why pictures are set up a little bit of how they are. But that's equal to 44 meters. And this one we do have to find our circumference again. So it's 2 pi times 15.28. Now how we would actually do this one, because if you take a look at the picture, you have to multiply those two numbers together. And when you cross multiply for that one, you get 15,840. And that's going to be equal to your circumference times x. And your circumference, when you round it, you should get 96. So that is going to be equal to 96. X, sorry, that's the part of the computer that doesn't work. So that's equal to 96x. Sorry, the equation I couldn't write correctly just because my computer doesn't work right there. Then you're just going to solve for x. You're going to divide by 96 on both sides, and you get final answer. X is equal to 165 degrees. So that's kind of how your arc length works. Like I say, you also use those proportions to find your circumference and your arc measure, so you will kind of see a mix of both of those when you go to do your assignment. But if you do have questions, please let me know, and then make sure that you enter in the code word for this screencast.